W. Clement Stone, famous billionaire, said, if you can take a product that people need and use, and you can make that product better, which we've done, and charge less, which we are doing, you are guaranteed success. That's just what we've got. So again, we've got the right company and the right products. What about the market for these products? According to Dr. Kenneth Dykewald in his book Age Power, and he has followed the migration of the baby boomers throughout history, he says that whoever is in front of the boomers with the right products are definitely going to have huge success. Well, now let's couple that with Lisa Johnson in her book, Mind Your X's and Y's, and she talks about these young people, Gen Xers and Gen Yers, consuming energy drinks at a record pace. So what does that break down to? Well, according to the United States Census Bureau, roughly 45.8% of the people in the United States of America are either Gen Xers or Gen Ys. 26.7% of the people are baby boomers. Do you understand that that means the market for our product is 72.5% of the population? Folks, that is over 210 million people. So you got the right company, the right products, a huge and growing marketplace for those products. What's next? Timing. And the first thing I want to talk to you about is the timing in the economy. Please don't any of you tell me you've got job security, because every time someone says that to me, they seem to be out looking for work 6 weeks later. Why do we keep seeing all these reports how bad things are? And if you look at something, you'll realize that if we go back to September of 2008, the jobless rate was the highest it had been in 5 years at 6.1% unemployment. We couldn't believe it. And then what happened is we go to January of that year, and we see that the unemployment rate had surged to 8.1%. Folks, that was the highest it had been in 25 years. Well, today, it's hovering at around 9%. That relates to, according to the United States Department of Labor, 8 million people who are unemployed, along with another 4 million who are no longer even looking for employment because their benefits have run out. That's 12 million people. Now, let's couple it with the fact that the number of workers who want full-time jobs, who are only able to get part-time work, rose to a record 9.2 million. Do you realize that there is now 21 million people that need the opportunity to get these products to those 210 million people who need the products? Well, what about the timing in your area? Folks, I don't care where you're listening to this from in the United States of America, you are sitting on an absolute gold mine in your state. There is not one state in the United States of America that I could go and do an opportunity meeting and draw as many as 200 people today. And if you've got an entrepreneurial bone in your body, and you understand anything about timing and how it relates to this industry, you may not be able to sleep tonight. But what about the timing within the company itself? What I'm going to show you now is something that's taught in many business schools around the country. This is a growth chart. There can only be 4 stages to a company's growth, and the first stage is formulation. You're formulating your ideas. Sales are low to the bottom of the graph. This is when most companies will go out of business. Now, if you can ever get to that second stage, that's called concentration. You're starting to show a profit. Sales are up. Most companies never get past concentration. But if you can ever get to the third stage, all bets are off. The third stage is when you reach critical mass. Your product goes from being obscure to a product that's on the tips of people's tongues. Critical mass will occur when your company reaches $4 million a month. At that point, you'll go into the third stage called momentum. Sales will shoot up like an absolute rocket ship. And this is where 80 to 85% of the people that will ever join this company will in fact join before the fourth stage, stability, then sets in for the lifetime of the company. So where are we today? Here with our company? Right here. We're now finishing. We've finished our formulation. We're in concentration. We've got another 12 to 18 months to reach critical mass. You are in the right place at the right time with the right company. We've got the right company, the right products, a huge and growing marketplace for those products, a timing story that no one can argue with. What can be next? How do we make money? Now, there's a few different ways of making money, and one way I'm going to talk to you about is basic commission. And basically, with the help of the person that got you on this site today, and my help, and some others with a vested interest in you, we're going to help you introduce this to a couple of people so fast your head could spin. Now, it is a 2-legged compensation plan, so One's going to go on your left, one on your right. But keep in mind, the person that brought you here likewise can only build 2 legs. Inevitably, you could get some spillover helping you build your organization. Then you bring in people who bring in people. At the end of every week, the company calculates the total volume of purchases from the company from your organization. And what the basic commission says is you will earn 10% of the total organizational volume of your lesser leg. So in this instance, you've got $42,000 in one leg, more than that in the other. You would earn 10% of $42,000 or $4,200. Now, as good as that is, what if I told you that I have been earning a huge check with this company for 3 years, and less than 10% of it comes from basic commission? Over 80% comes from the most powerful way you'll ever find of earning money, and it's called the matching bonus enrollment tree. Now, basically, as you look at this slide, you'll see that you're still making 10% on your left, and you've made $4,200. Now, let's look at the top. See Ed? See how Ed's got 2 legs? He's got 8,000 in one and more than that in the other. Well, Ed, by definition, is going to get a check of $800. But because you personally enrolled him, you get a matching bonus. Now, I've seen it go anywhere from 15 to 25%. I use 20% for illustration purposes only, and it's easy to do the math. So once again, Ed has got a check of $800. You're going to get a matching bonus checks of approximately $160. But wait, let's look at Bob. See how Bob's got 2 legs? He's got 9,000 in one, more than that in the other. Bob is going to make 10% of 9,000 or 900, and you are going to make more money. Look at Sam. He's got 2 legs. He's got 14,000 in the week. He gets a check for 1,400, and you make more money. Let's look at Kim. Kim's got 2 legs. She's got 28,000 in a week leg. You'll make 10% of that. She'll make 10% of that, or $2,800, and you are now earning an extra $560. Now, as we go to this next slide, it's still Sam, Ed, Bob, and Kim. I just had to reconfigure it because it's easier on the eyes. The blue ones sponsor the orange ones. Once you hit the director level, every week those guys get a check. You get a matching bonus check. Now, our company pays 7 generations deep of matching bonus. Not 7 levels, 7 generations. A generation goes all the way down up to and including the first director in that leg. So if we looked at Bob and we go down his leg, if he sponsored that first orange one, that sponsored the next one, that sponsored the next one, that sponsored that one on the bottom, and that person becomes a director, that now is your first generation of director, which means all those people above are in your first generation. Now remember, this person could be hundreds of levels deep, and yet every one of them is part of your first generation. Our company allows you to pay 7 generations deep. As a result of this, to put this in perspective, I've been with the company now for a few years. As a result of 12 people that I've individually enrolled who are working this business, 3 of them on a full-time basis, 9 of them on a part-time basis, those 12 people have grown to over 60,000 people in 8 countries, of which 75% of them are in my first 7 generations, and you are one of the very first people in your state to hear about this. Now, how do you get started with our company? It's pretty simple. You can buy your basic starter package. It's $179 with a value of $295, and it will allow you to sell 3 pieces of our product to somebody for free. All you do is pay the shipping. Well, a better way to start would be coming on board for $279 because you get a value of over $500, and it allows you to qualify for Pro 300, which is our first step in our compensation plan. But the best way by far, as far as I'm concerned, to come in would be with the $479 Builder Pack, not just because of the $1,000 plus value and all the extra product it'll have for you to build your business, but real simple. Remember all those bonuses I talked about, matching bonus? Well, you need to be a director to get them. This will qualify you for Bronze Director for 90 days, but it even gets better. See, there's another way of making money. When you come in for that $179 pack, what's going to happen is when you bring somebody else in at any level, you will earn 20% of that purchase. So if they've come in at a $500 package, you'd make 20% of that, or $100. But also, you'd make money when they bring people in. That's your second level. When they bring people in, that's 4 levels deep. Well, if you get involved with a $279 package, you'll earn 25% instead of 20, and you get paid 6 levels deep. But of course, the best way is the Paysetter 200, when you earn a full 33% of all the people you enroll, 10% of the people they enroll, and it gets paid 8 levels deep. So here it is. We've got the right company, the right products, a huge and growing marketplace for those products, a timing story that no one can argue with, best compensation plan I've ever seen. What could be left? Training and support. As far as training goes, we've got a system that has proven track record. It is a blueprint for success that you will learn once you get on board. As far as support goes, I want you to understand you are in business for yourself, but you are not by yourself. You will have many people on your team helping you get to reach your goals. Ray Kroc, founder of McDonald's, said the 2 most important requirements for major success are, first, being in the right place at the right time, and second, doing something about it. I know that you're in the right place for the right time. The question is, do you want to do something about it? Victor Hugo said, there is nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. I'm here to tell you, eXfuze's time has come. What you need to do now is get back with the person that told you about us, get your questions answered, and get started now. I hope I have a chance to meet with each and every one of you very soon. My name is Eddie Freeman. Take care, everyone.